In this one, I'm going to be ditching the stock lunchbox style oil tank on my shovel head, and I'm going to be replacing it with this Lowbrow Customs oil tank suited to swing arm shovel heads. First thing to do is to remove the seat. Then to disconnect my battery and remove the battery. Now I can go ahead and remove my broken battery tray. As you can see, the weld snapped off in the back left corner. So now the battery tray is removed, I'm going to go ahead and drain the oil from the oil tank. And this is reasonably new oil and it's looking pretty sludgy already. Then to disconnect the two oil lines on top of the oil tank. And then the oil feed line at the bottom of the tank. Now to remove the two nuts securing the oil tank onto the frame. And I'm just going to take the cap off the oil tank just so the oil tank is a little easier to maneuver out of the frame. And voila, that is the stock oil tank removed. And as you can see, there's a mounting bracket on the frame that's hitting the rear of the tank, and that was to mount the stock tank to the frame. So what I have to do is remove the oil tank and cut that bracket off. I'm using a hammer to whack that bracket towards the inside of the frame just so I can get better access with an angle grinder to cut it off. And as you can see, there is not a lot of room to get an angle grinder in place, but I managed to do so. And now I'm just filing down the sharp edges. Now here I'm removing this bracket that secures the old oil tank onto it, and also it acts as an adjuster for the clutch cable. Now I've removed that bracket, you can see I've installed the brand new Lowbrow Customs bracket. Now I'm just going to whack the tank in place to mock fit it and ensure it's actually going to work inside this frame. To square the tank up, I'm just tightening down the front mounting bolts, then to install the rear mounting bracket that slots onto your frame, and then to tighten up the two bolts that secure the tank to that bracket. And Bob's your uncle, that is the Lowbrow Customs oil tank installed. I gotta say, I absolutely love the look of it, but now it's time to remove it and get it powder coated in a gloss black. So after waiting a week, the tank's come back from the powder coaters in a gloss black and it looks absolutely schmick. Now all I have to do is install the fittings into the tank that the oil lines are going to mount to, and I'm just going to use some heat-proof thread sealant in installing these fittings. You want to make sure that they're in nice and tight so no oil leaks past the fittings. Now to install the clutch cable onto the front tank mounting bracket. Here you can see I've run those oil lines to the tank fittings and it is all buttoned up. And the fitting that you can see at the rear of the tank is an oil drain line. So when I want to do my oil changes, all I need to do is remove a little bung at the end of that oil line, drain the oil into a pan and then put the bung back in place. It's exactly like how the Sportsters run their oil tanks. And as you can see, I've installed a small lithium battery. Let's hope it doesn't explode on the first ride, but it's looking nice and neat inside the frame. Now it's time to fill up the oil tank with 3.5 quart of 50 weight oil. And that is done. Now let's take a look at the tank mounted on my swing arm shovel head. I have to say I much prefer the style of this horseshoe oil tank. I really hated the look of the old school lunchbox style oil tank, but each to their own. I'm sure there's going to be some haters for this oil tank as it doesn't run an oil filter. And yes, in the future I probably will install an external oil filter just like the panheads used to run. But that's going to do it for this one, guys. Thanks very much for watching, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one. See ya!